Alright, Shalom, Shalom, jumping right into it. It's Brother Yakarab and Yahweh, the Lions Den Camp down here in Jacksonville, Florida, making this video lesson in transit. But before I do, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father, the same God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the Paleo Hebrew, by saying, Ka Halayam La Yahweh, Ba Hashem Yahushai, Ba Hashem Kadash. Double honors to the elder apostle GMS of Ruwell, and double honors to my elder apostle Harwan of the Lions Den Camp. Right out of 2 Corinthians chapter 10, all right, verse 3. For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through Yahweh to the pulling down of strongholds. Okay? And the reason I'm getting this is because, recently it was made known to me that I got, people throwing my name around, and they're doing so, it almost seems like it's malicious in intent. You know what I'm saying? Which I'm gonna seek some more counsel on that. But the bottom line is, the reason that they come against me, or that they're coming against me, is because they fear my potential. My potential to possibly undo some of their some of what they've worked for. But the thing about it is, I never gave them the impression that I would do such a thing. All I've ever done with regards to these folks is help them. And this is in a business capacity, right? Because that was my duty. But at the same time, they feel as though now that I'm no longer working with them, within their jurisdiction. I'll just say within their jurisdiction. Now they feel that I can take some of their business away, which I could, but that's not that wasn't my intent, from whatever point they thought that I was going to be doing such a thing. It was never my intent. My intent was only to help certain people that reached out to me. I might seek otherwise now, but again, that wasn't my intent. But because of that, they feared my potential and wanted to throw my name around, and make it seem as if I'm some malicious supervillain, man. But when it comes to these things, man, we gotta move with wisdom, and like I said, I'm gonna seek counsel, but ultimately, Yahweh Shai is gonna have the last say, and these people, the people that I'm talking about, man, they're of the Idumean lineage, so these people have a hatred towards me anyway, just based off the spiritual the spiritual enmity that's been there, since the beginning, man. That's what these people were placed on the earth for. Their purpose was to have enmity with the descendants of our forefathers, man. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay, and the 12 tribes, man. You see. But I'm putting it in the hands of the Heavenly Father, man. For him to sort out, because ultimately, man's goings are after the are of the Lord anyway, man. So these people don't really know what they're doing. In the forefront of their conscience, sure, they have an idea of what they're doing, man. They're evil, wicked. These evil and wicked thoughts came into their head to plot and scheme and send out a message about me. But ultimately, the wicked are just on autopilot, man. They do the deeds of their father, right? As it says in the scriptures, man. They are of their father, the devil, man. And so the deeds that they do are after after Hasatan and devilish deeds after the devil, man. Bottom line. All right. But our weapons are not of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through Yahweh to the pulling down of strongholds, man. So any stronghold, stumbling blocks, barriers, blockers, on the carnal level and on the spiritual level, man. You know what I'm saying? Yahweh Shai pulls them down, man. Let me get this right here. This is Psalm 142, and it says, I poured out my complaint before him. I showed before him my trouble. Okay, I've laid this out before Yahweh, man. And showed him my trouble. See what these people are doing. You know, they're trying to undo by them doing what they're doing. They're trying to undo my works, man. My hard work and efforts, man, to build relationships. To build up my business. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say I gotta seek some counsel. You know, on this, but they're really trying to tear down my business. You see, it says, verse 3, when my spirit was overwhelmed within me, then thou knewest my path and the way wherein I walked. Have they privily laid a snare for me? They laid a snare for me, man, thinking they were going, thinking they're going to trap me within a box. They put me in this bubble, putting a name on me as if I'm some super villain, and hey, look, man, compared to them, I'm small fry, right? But again, my potential. They hate my potential, and they have a spiritual hatred towards me because I'm Jacob. Damn, I do me. It says, verse 4, I looked on my right hand and beheld, but there was no man that would know me. Refuge failed me. No man cared for my soul, man. So we can't look for others. Nobody really wanted to send me the message. I got one of my homeboys, that I work with closely. He sent it, but there were several people that didn't want to send me the email, man. I guess thinking that, their name might, be attached to the person that sent me the message or something like that, and then I might, that their name might get, plowed around in this, and next thing you know, it's something that's hurting their business, man. I mean, I wouldn't throw their name out there like that, first and foremost. But again, that's what it says, man. No man would know me. Refuge failed me. No man cared for my soul. Nobody cares, man. That's what the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans got to understand on this side, is that nobody cares for you, okay? Like the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai cares for you, man. You can't depend on men or women or anybody on this side, man. All right, depend on Yahweh Shai. The people that you think you know will turn on you, man. All right, the scriptures talk about that too. Okay, people you think you know, people you think that are cool with you, will actually turn out to be your enemy. You see, verse 5, I cried unto thee, O Lord Yahweh. I said, thou art my refuge and my portion in the land of the living. So we got to cry out to Yahweh Shai, man. That's it. All right, Isaiah 41:13, for I, the Lord Yahweh, thy power will hold thy right hand, saying unto thee, fear not, I will help thee. You see, Yahweh's going to help us, and Yahweh's going to help me through this. Yahweh's getting me through, man. He's always been there, hasn't failed me, and will not fail me, okay? I cry out before him, and I lay my concerns and my problems, my issues, privily before the Lord, man, my power, all right? I call on his name, Yahweh, all right? And in the name of his only begotten son, Yahweh Shai, all right? Not Jesus, not Jesus Christo, all right? The Blanco devil, all right? Verse 14, fear not, thou worm Jacob. I'm a worm compared to these guys, man. I'm a worm compared to these guys. These guys, man, look, are national, all right, possibly international. I'm local, right? But again, my potential to undo them is right in their face, and that's what they fear. It says, fear not, thou worm Jacob, and ye men of Israel, I will help thee, saith the Lord Yahweh, and thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel, man. So we got to lay our concerns, problems, issues, and things before Yahweh, man, and call on him. And he will see that our cause is handled, all right, in the way that Yahweh Shai knows how to handle things. You see, the only way that matters, man. All right, but anyway, and with that, I'm gonna say shalom.